let's talk a little bit about another reason that you're here today. It's the Warriors to Us program. Tell us what that's all about.
A friend of mine that I got to know on social media in my fight for America and our freedom, I met her at the Daytona, after the Daytona 500 in Florida in 2020 that Trump was at. And she gave up her government consulting job, bought 220 acres in the backwoods of the Ozarks in Hardinville, Missouri, and wanted to give a place that veterans could come relax, decompress for a week. And she's done it totally self-funded. So we're going to have an event to raise funds so she can get some support to help our veterans.
And basically the veterans, anyone can go there who's been a veteran, basically any of the services, and then just go to kind of chill, relax.
Police, first responders, anybody that served the public in a capacity of public service can go there.
Okay.
And what do they do? What kind of options do they have? Can you tell us more about what they do when they're there?
Creek runs through the property. I haven't been there yet. I'll be there on the 24th of October on my way to the event. I'm going to spend my first night there. They got a creek, they got a gun range, you can go fishing, hunting. The latest project she started is she started a tidy home community across the street. So she's going to give like 15 people an area to have a small tiny home and also live there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That
Talk
sounds
about-
generous, right? And so if people want to help out, where could they send donations?
So her website is warriors2 with the number 2 us.com. Her name is Donna Nasir. I also am having a fundraiser raising money on Give Send Go for her. And then for the event, we're having a fundraiser that has a GoFundMe page that you can find on Jason Scott Davis's Facebook page.
Okay, so say that slower. Jason Scott Davis
Jason Scott Davis.
has a Facebook page, but let's talk about the event itself. It's called the Freedom Social and Weenie Roast. And I understand there's some weenies from North Dakota showing up at this event.
Absolutely. We got some local support. I contacted Cloverdale, and Cloverdale donated 1,500 hot dogs to our event.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Kudos out to Cloverdale. And if you are, and you know what, you don't even have to be local to buy from Cloverdale. It is across the nation, or you can just log on and you can order products from Cloverdale and have it sent anywhere, especially during the holiday season here. You can make great gifts. So I just want to give that huge shout out to Cloverdale. It's amazing. So you guys don't even know how many people to expect down there.
I'm expecting 1,000 to 1,500, but the way the traction's going, there could be 2,500. Jason threw out a number one day, maybe 10,000 people show up. So it's going to be interesting
We might
to see.
need more weenies.
Right?
Exactly.
Cloverdale, if you can hear us, he might need more weenies at the end of the month here. So, so have you met people along the way then? You were telling us a friend of yours that had been incarcerated. Tell us his story.
Jason Scott Davis has this fluent English, and I found him on the internet. He's got 300,000 TikTok followers, and his father was a veteran, and he wants to give back to veterans. And so when he started talking about wanting to do an event for veterans, I contacted him, and him and I have been working on this for 5 months.
Great, but he has a little bit of a backstory. Do you want to share that?
He's a former meth addict. He owned a hamburger joint he watched burn to the ground. And he also wants to take felons after they get out of jail and find them gainful employment and a lease on a new life through sobriety. And that's his calling now.
Mm-hmm. And so this event will help not only those individuals, but kind of tell us everything that this event will help.
The event is to help the veterans camp in the main part, but I expect a lot of the people that he's helped in their personal life trying to find sobriety are going to be at this event. So there's going to be veterans and felons, people that got out of jail. I have the local sheriff's department sending 4 officers to be security at the event. No alcohol will be served, and it's a Pro 2A event.
That's
Nice.
great.
You were saying that his father was a veteran, right?
Correct.
And so that's part of his reason and motivation for wanting to give back to veterans?
When he got out of jail and decided to get sober, it hit him that he never served and that his father's legacy as a veteran meant so much to him. And yeah, so things are going hand in hand.
So it's his way to carry on his father's legacy, not
Absolutely.
necessarily through the military, but through helping the military.
Correct.
And that's something that we can all do and get behind. I'm excited. It sounds like a great event. Is there any plans to have something like that up here in North Dakota?
No, we discussed having an event number 2 sponsor that sponsored us out of Texas, outside of Houston, Texas. He's an old cowboy rancher. His name's William Barnett. Thank you, William. And we might have an event at his place in Texas next year.
Oh, that's great. Because a lot of times, even though, you know, when they have gotten out of incarceration, funds are tight and it's hard to travel. So if people can go ahead and donate, log on to warriorstous.com and just find the tab where you can donate, because we all have veteran relatives, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles that could use some help. So you can go ahead and log on. And just, if you can donate $5 or $500, just donate that. You can write it off anyway. We have about 15 seconds. What would you like to leave our viewers with regarding this event?
Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak to you about it. You know, the veterans are a forgotten bunch of freedom fighters, and freedom isn't free. So remember your veterans.
All right, we appreciate that. Okay, well, when we take a break, we're going to come back. It is Monday Gun Day, and it just so happens that our guest also knows a lot about that. We'll be right back after this with more on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
8 venues, 4 hotels, 1 city. Crookston, Minnesota has everything for your next event or vacation stay. Our venues provide ample space for events of all kinds. The Eagles Club can provide a fun, relaxed atmosphere, while the Crookston Sports Center will entertain over 1,000 with ease. Or have your event and lodging in one location at the Crookston Inn and Convention Center. When it's time to relax, that's covered too. Crookston, Minnesota, your ideal event and vacation destination.
XL Homes has been providing custom manufactured and modular homes to the Dakotas and Montana for over 20 years. We offer land home packages and an easy solution to remote areas, lakes, and farmsteads. Our team will work closely with you to ensure your home is tailored to your specific needs. We do it all and will be here from initial design to delivery and final setup. Come to XL Homes for your next home.
Bottineau County is highlighted by Bottineau, Lake Metagoshi, the Turtle Mountain area, and the beautiful International Peace Gardens. Summertime offers an abundance of outdoor activities, including water sports, canoeing, biking along beautiful trails in the state park, and much more. Downhill skiing, snowboarding, and snow tubing are also available at the Bottineau Winter Park. The mountain facility offers a variety of trails so that beginners to experts can have a blast down the slopes. No matter which route you choose to get to Bottineau County, enjoy the drive and expect a warm welcome awaiting when you arrive. Bottineau County. Let's go.
Welcome to Stanley, North Dakota, a thriving community that always has something great happening for the whole family, no matter the season. Whether you're stopping for a day or staying for a while, you'll find everything you need and a whole lot of fun. Join us for these can't-miss events during our 4th of July celebration. For the complete list and the latest on what's happening in our community, find the Stanley Commercial Club on Facebook. Standing proud on the prairie, the city of Langdon offers a lot for a little town. Expansive parks, a movie theater, and a thriving Main Street are just the start. You'll find a golf course, swimming pool, and the chance to play any sport you like. Known as the Western Gateway to the historic Rendezvous region, Langdon is minutes from the charm of Mount Carmel Dam, the beauty of the Pembina Gorge, and so much more. Plan a visit today. We won't be surprised if you decide to stay. New Salem, where you'll find Salem Sioux, the historic Old Red Trail, rich history, and the Morton County Fair. A great place for growing families and businesses, and a place to find entertainment for everyone. New Salem, a great place.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View. I'm Beck, and it is Monday Gun Day. Now, don't talk about the spread on there. We've already had enough slack, but we were sure to hit an artery somewhere in there if we were shooting at somebody.
Correct.
No comment.
All right, so we have a segment. Well, sometimes we do an entire show on Monday Gun Day, but I know you're really familiar with guns and the Second Amendment. Do you want to share with our viewers the importance of the Second Amendment?
The main importance of it is what's kept our freedom is us being allowed to have an arm. They're not firearms, they're arms. Our rights come from God. One of the first places I put this petition in Hettinger County was at our new local gun store called the Boom Closet. So our freedom is given by us being able to have arms against the tyranny of the government if they want to overthrow us. They mentioned about Israel, and what's going on in Israel isn't being portrayed for what it really is, and I suppose later on we'll be talking about that.
Well, we can talk about that right now because a lot of people compare the United States of America's gun laws to Israel. So the conservatives like to point out that both societies are well armed, but the similarity ends there. Israelis trust their state and don't fear for each other, where as Americans, we don't trust our state and we don't trust our neighbors. Some of our neighbors, I don't mean the immediate neighbors, but we don't trust the people because there are bad people out there who want to rob, kidnap, steal from your premises, whether you live in town or in the country. There's always that threat. So you can defend yourself personally on that personal level, but you can also defend yourself if your country has bad ideas.
If you look at some of the states with the highest crime rates, violence, murder rates, those are the states that have the strictest gun laws. The gun laws are not protecting the people or the citizenry of those communities. If the man was supposed to have his 2A right, crime would be a lot lower.
Sure. So let's get back to Israel then. We have another, from the same article as the Times of Israel. Israelis must meet a detailed list of criteria to be allowed to own a firearm. They must ask the state for a license. They're permitted only one gun at a time and must even ask for permission to sell their gun. And the firearms licensing department is no rubber stamp. Roughly 40% of requests are rejected. So you can only own one gun at a time.
Couldn't imagine.
And they're even, following all the bullets. I mean, it's very meticulous, and so there's definitely not hardly any freedom in there. It's really a different situation in Israel versus the United States.
Sure. And then it goes on to say, indeed, before even requesting a license, Israelis must meet minimum age requirements, be in good health and of sound mind. Well, and have no criminal record, among other preconditions. And then we have another, this one is, but yet there's more. Once they are granted the right to carry a gun, Israelis are limited to just 50 bullets in their possession at any given time. They must shoot or return old bullets before they can buy new ones, a process that can only take place at tightly regulated shooting ranges where each bullet sale is carefully registered. The types of guns permitted also depend on the reason for the license. In other words, a veterinarian may only purchase a gun approved by the government for the killing of animals. A hunter's license only permits the purchase of a firearm from an approved firearms list kept by the Parks Authority, and so forth. So it's not like they can even use this to protect themselves.
Yeah, it's like it's, when people want to compare that to us here in America, there's no comparison.
Right,
There's
and just
really not.
with these people that were flying into this music festival, that in itself would be a good reason to have ARs. If you see a bunch of bad guys floating in at a music festival, you can take them out pretty easily if you have the right weapon and the right ammunition.
I grew up where every kid had a gun in his pickup and gun rack, and when I moved here to North Dakota, they still did. And nowadays, that's not allowed. I can remember when I was in the 4th or 5th grade, I took a handgun to show and tell at school. I mean, it was just part of life. And listen, guns aren't bad, it's the people that are bad.
Right, right.
I mean, just look at what could have happened, right? I think this is a perfect time for Israel to really take a look at their gun laws. They should allow their citizens to arm themselves. You know, they've got terror all around.
Yeah, that's right. They are the freest country in that entire area, and they're not allowed to have guns at home to defend themselves.
Hopefully they really take a look at this, take this opportunity to see that it's a necessary change.
Sure, and other parts of this article too. It says, in other words, at the Public Security Ministry explains on its website, Israeli law does not recognize a right to bear arms, and anyone wanting to do so must meet a number of requirements, including a justified need to carry a firearm. There is no inkling of a belief amongst Israelis that citizens should be permitted to own guns as a check on government power. That is, as limit to the sovereignty of the state expressed in its monopoly on violence. And so there again, they're not allowed to fight. They don't think that their state would do anything bad to them. And then let's just finish it by this last one. When it comes to guns, Israelis want a well-armed society and expect the state to manage things in such a way that the only the correct people are armed. In other words, Israelis are armed not against the state, but by the state against external threats like terror attacks. Although they weren't able to defend themselves this week, obviously. For American gun advocates, of course, the right to gun ownership is, at its core, a right to defend oneself from the state and from one's neighbors. And that is the bottom line, and that is why we need guns in America. Boom.
I'm sold.
You're sold?
Sign you up. Get your guns. Go get them now.
Annie, get your guns. There we go.
There
That's
you go,
my plug.
Annie. All right, and it's even getting harder and harder to buy guns, and even if they're not slowing down the guns, it's the ammunition that you can't get your hands on. And I think the best thing that ever happened to the gun industry was when Barack Hussein Obama was elected. The gun sales and ammunition went through the roof. Everybody was making money then.
You mentioned earlier about Israel and having to be registered. So about 10 years ago, on my way back from Minneapolis, I stopped at a Shield store to buy our son some ammunition for one of his rifles. And when I got to the counter, they asked for my ID to buy ammunition.
Yeah,
We have a problem.
we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And that's
Yeah.
just it. Some of us buy ammo online. And that is something that needs to probably stop, because that's even more traceable as to finding out who owns a lot of ammo in the area. So if you can buy from your local gun shop if you can. Yes, they're probably going to ask you for an ID. Part of that is for age requirements. However, if you walk in and you're 50 years old, I don't think you really need to show your ID.
I know, but it's something that we have in place, and I guess I kind of disagree with that, because you have to show your ID if you're buying a baseball bat. You have to show your ID if you're buying alcohol. It's just, I guess.
Is that for credit purposes, or just, I mean, if you're buying cash, are you spending cash, you don't have to show your ID though, do you?
Yes, you do.
You do?
Yep, you have to be over the age of 18 to buy a baseball bat, because it's considered a weapon.
I did not.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so there's lots of things like that, and that's not new. That's been
I didn't
around
know that.
for a long time. Yep, you have to. I only know that because I played softball, and so when I was in high school, a parent had to be with, and a parent had to actually purchase the baseball bat, things like that, because they're considered weapons. And so I guess personally, I don't think it's bad to have those checks. Yes, obviously, I don't think that we all need to be traced and they're keeping track of what we have and what we don't, but there are people out there that shouldn't have these weapons, and so that's what I take away, that they're keeping that out of the hands of some people that shouldn't.
Sure. Well, I will say, after we were broken into, we have a baseball bat and a can of wasp spray at every door in our place.
Yeah.
Because both of those are great deterrents of criminals trying to get in. We just have a few seconds left. Anything you want to leave our viewers with for the day?
Be good Americans. Love your neighbor. It's God, family, and country. God bless America.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. We enjoyed having you on. And I hope you can go ahead and attend that event. If you can't attend the event, please feel free to donate to it to help the veterans and your neighbors.